So you're thinking about moving to Georgia. Great! But before you do, you may want to check out the pros and cons of living in Georgia. Hi, I'm Daphne Bousquet, a realtor on Atlanta's South Side with eXp Realty. I'm excited to share the pros and cons of living in Georgia. And these are some of the things that I wish I had known when I moved here from South Florida about 17 years ago. So let's dive in. The great thing about Georgia is that there are so many different areas to live. You can move to the North Georgia mountains with places like Ellijay and Helen and Dahlonega. You can move to the coast and beaches like Tybee Island. Georgia has lots of lakes to live on as well, like Lake Lanier, Lake Altoona, Lake Oconee, Lake St. Clair. There's so many more. And of course, you have the big cities like Atlanta and Savannah. Georgia has a great economy and is growing economically. It is home to Fortune 500 companies such as Coca-Cola, the Home Depot, UPS, and Delta Airlines. The film industry is rapidly expanding and there are studios popping up everywhere. You'll see those yellow and black signs wherever they are filming, and you see them all the time. And did you know that all the Marvel movies were shot right here, like the Avengers? Another pro is that the climate is very favorable. Since Georgia is located in the south, we have very mild winters. Spring and fall are absolutely glorious, and all four seasons are represented, which is different from where I came from. South Florida, you have hot and hotter, and before that I lived in the Netherlands where it's cold and colder. And although we do own coats here in Georgia, I must admit I haven't really worn a coat in years. Another great pro is that you can get anywhere from Georgia. Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport is one of the busiest airports in the world, if not the busiest. No matter where you need to go, there will always be a flight out of Atlanta. Preferably a Delta flight, because that is one of our largest employers here. And when I was a collegiate diver for the University of Miami, we always used to joke that even on the way to heaven, we'd have to make a stopover in Atlanta. One of the most striking things about Georgia is how friendly the people are. Especially if you're coming from a place like the Northeast, where you have to have your head on a swivel and you are worried that if somebody talks to you, they're distracting you from getting pickpocketed or even worse. Here in Georgia, it's actually normal to greet someone you don't know and actually answer when someone asks you, "How y'all doing?" And when you drive in a neighborhood, be sure to wave to your neighbors, because that's what we do here in Georgia. Georgia's cost of living is below the national average, especially in the grocery, housing, health, and miscellaneous categories. And miscellaneous categories is restaurants, clothing, entertainment, and that kind of stuff. So that makes it very attractive to move here. Here's another pro that was a little unexpected. When my husband and I lived in South Florida, we loved to go to concerts. But when we moved here, we realized that there are a lot more of them here in the Atlanta area, because every tour hits Atlanta. Small tours, big tours, every tour. So there are lots of concerts to choose from, even in small venues. So that has been a lot of fun for us. And of course, there are a lot of sports games as well. So that is something we really enjoy as well. So are you on board so far? Sounding pretty great, right? But I have to warn you, it's not all sunshine and unicorns and puppies. There are some cons to living in Georgia. So let's dive into those now. The first one is Georgia's title ad valorem tax. So normally when you register your car, you pay a small percentage of your ad valorem title tax every year, right, in different states. Well, Georgia requires you to pay it all up front when you register your car for the first time, whether you buy a new vehicle or if you're coming from another state and registering your car in Georgia for the first time. You pay 6.6% all up front. And that is pretty annoying if you do not know it's coming. Now, I talked about the weather earlier and how about we have those mild winters and beautiful spring and fall, but those summers, they're brutal, sweltering, hot, humid. And that is from someone who lived in South Florida for 20 years. And as a realtor, when I show houses in the summer, that's what I look like. It's not pretty. But the good part is that there are 3 other seasons that make up for it. Although spring has its own problems. As beautiful as it is, and I love the flowers and the colors, one of those colors is yellow. Yep, we have a lot of pollen in spring. So if you suffer from allergies, you better stock up on some allergy medicine. Pollen is a real issue here, and it is not uncommon for everything to be coated with a yellow blanket. Don't open your windows much in spring because everything will be yellow. Now, of course, there's always some spring showers that will wash it all away, but allergies can be really bad in spring here. And again, I said this before, winters are very mild, but that means that if we have a few snowflakes, everything shuts down. Yep, the whole state will shut down. People just don't know how to drive in the snow and the ice. And of course, we don't really have a lot of salt trucks here either because we don't use them much. You may have heard of the snowmageddon that we had in 2014 when a lot of people got stuck on the interstate for over 24 hours. It was bad. Thankfully, that doesn't happen very often at all. If you are used to a faster pace, you might get a little frustrated here in Georgia because we move at a slightly slower pace. People like to greet each other and chat. So if you are at the line in a grocery store and the cashier and the customer in front of you are trying to catch up, just take a deep breath. You'll get used to it. And who knows, maybe you'll grow to like the slower pace. I know I did. Do you want to know more about the things you need to know before moving to Georgia? Watch this video next because that is about 7 things you have to know before moving to Georgia. And like this video. Subscribe to this channel because new videos come out every Monday. I'll see you next week.